All right, I'm here with Colin Smith of Photoshop Cafe fame to talk about his classes at the Photoshop Virtual Summit 4. Welcome, Colin.
Good to see you, Dave.
Good to see you too. So, one of the classes you're doing is a master class on sky replacement. So, what kind of things are you going to be covering in that session?
Everything.
Perfect.
Well, actually, everything regarding the sky replacement tools. So, we're not doing the old school sky replacement, where you sit there for hours, like cutting out leaves. So, Photoshop has a great AI powered sky replacement tool in there, which works surprisingly well. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you have control over every aspect of it. So I've got 3 projects. The first one is just like, boom, here it is. Here's how it works. In the second one, we break it down into all the different elements, and I explain literally what every slider and every option does. So, if the mask is not quite what you want, you can fix it. If the colors are not
Right,
what you want, you can change them. And
right.
I also show how to create reflections in the water, which it doesn't
Nice.
do by default.
Hmm.
And then the final project is just a fun little one where we do a day to night one. So we put a night scene in there just so you can kind of just not necessarily trying to create a masterpiece. I just want to open it up
Sure.
and let you see how you can be more creative with the tools.
Nice. So people can expect to see, well, as you said, 3 different examples, which is great when you're I find a lot of the times when people are showing something, they kind of do one and then it might not be appropriate to what everyone else is trying to figure out. So going into all the different options. And you did say you would show what would happen if the standard result wasn't ideal, how you can tweak it.
Yeah, absolutely. By the time you finish this session, you'll know how to tweak every single element in there. And what I've also
Perfect.
done too is for the VIP members, I've included a little cheat sheet which has the panel, and I've mapped all the adjustments to the
Nice.
layers panel, so you can also understand how they work.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that class because I got to be honest, I'm one of those people that I've jumped into sky replacement and got the results and went, oh, that's pretty good, but I've never really pushed it further, or maybe I haven't challenged it by giving it a more challenging sky to sort of see what needs to be done to tweak it. So that sounds like great information for people. And the other class you're doing is like power tips, shortcuts, things like that. So tell us
Mhm.
more about that one.
Okay, so this is just like essentially I'm turning on the faucet and just pouring tips out. So what I'm doing is we create a project, but it's not about the project. But essentially, by the time you're done, we're going to have a grid with all these nice, evenly spaced images that we're just starting from, just sucking all the images either off the computer. Or another thing that people challenge a challenge that people have is, sometimes you're doing research, whatever, and you're grabbing screen captures, and then you've got all these windows and open in Photoshop, and you're like, man, I wish these were like in one document. And then what do? You drag them into the windows or whatever you do. So I show how to automate that process, how to make them all nice and uniform, and how to apply layer styles to all of, to multiple things at the same time. And then we jump into a second project. I call it a project. It's not really about the project. It's more just
Sure.
about the tips along the way. And then we do another one where I'm just really showing you how to build an action and how to batch process an action. So that one is just that's really the focus of that, because a lot of people may have used actions or maybe haven't.
Hmm.
But one of the things people don't necessarily know how is you can batch process a whole folder. So I kind of have a mantra: if I have to do something, the same thing, more than twice, I'm doing it wrong. And
Right.
that's essentially what we're really
Sure.
tackling with this particular session.
Now, I think one of the things you said in your description, so you're also covering not just recording something, an action, but some of the built-in automated features as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. So there's some scripts and things like that built into Photoshop, and we're digging into some of those and using some of those as well. Yeah, there's some great tools in there that if you don't know they're there, you don't realize how much time you're wasting doing things by
Right.
not
Exactly.
leveraging these tools. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had numerous discussions with people about automation, and I think some people think of it too much like, well, I'm not doing a major project where I need to automate it. But I think you hit the nail on the head by saying just day to day, if you're doing something more than a couple of times on a regular basis, then you're kind of working too hard.
Well, absolutely, and it's not even necessarily, like on your images, like you've got 20 windows open. Why are you closing those windows one at a time? I mean, there's
Right.
just so many
Yeah.
other ways these things can just speed up time, and and it's the boring stuff that we're speeding up. Yeah, then you can focus on the creative stuff that's fun.
Sure. So if there was one thing from both of your classes, either one doesn't matter, that as you were doing it, you found yourself thinking, this is going to get people excited, what would it be?
Um, that's a good question. I think some of the things we're going to do with layer styles in the tips session that
Hmm.
we're doing, I think are going to open some people's eyes. Yeah,
Okay, excellent.
yeah.
Thanks so much, Colin. I just wanted to have you give a bit of an overview of your classes, and look forward to having people's reactions to see how much they like your classes, which I am sure they will.
All right, thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me, and everybody. I hope you guys enjoy the summit, and it's been fun getting sessions together for you.